Yo, yo, what is good? I am very glad to see your face, my boy, on this beautiful Friday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. I actually got to ask you a question later about I don't know if this is an April Fool's joke by an NBA player that I saw on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it, but definitely breaking the internet right now.
Are you talking about LeBron James out for the season?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because I gotta get your take on the NBA. We had a big signing yesterday. Funny part is, I literally told Chris, "Yo, this week there's probably gonna be a signing. We're gonna talk about it on Monday." Thankfully, me and you were able to make an episode today, so we'll be able to talk about that signing in the NFL yesterday that might change the landscape of the league. Although this team kind of is the favorites this year again, anyways.
Yeah.
And we're gonna wrap up with some baseball. I got my Yankee shirt on. Opening day is next Thursday, and there's already some very major news from one of our teams in New York. I want to get your take on it. People have never seen any of these episodes or any of these videos, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is the Radical Souls Podcast. I'm Daniel.
I'm Ethan, and make sure you subscribe, like, or comment this video.
And make sure you go to the description. I'm going to have a link in there. That's going to be for the Radical Soul Show, where Ethan handles a lot of the sneakers side of stuff. This is where we do our podcast mainly. That will be where we do our sneaker reviews. You'll see sneakers like, patent leather bred ones, or maybe you see the playoff 12s at some point on there. We're going to have a bunch of stuff in there. And we definitely got to talk a lot about all these different releases we've been seeing these last few weeks.
Yes, sir. We'll be back on track next week, posting videos every week.
Word. So with that being said, let's get it.
Let's get it.
So I wanted to talk about the Rams signing first, but let's talk about LeBron James because he put out a tweet that said, "Yo, my season's officially done. See y'all next year." And everybody's kind of just waiting and seeing like, is this an April Fool's joke? You're supposed to be playing today. You said you'll be back today. I haven't heard anything from any of the major newsbreakers in the NBA.
It's funny because like Woj put in parentheses is April 1st. I just left it like that.
I mean, do you think it's really out, bro?
I think he's just messing with everybody.
We're gonna find out tonight. They play tonight. They're fighting for the playoffs. They're playing live. They lost last night to the Jazz. Are they gonna make the play any?
I say no by the schedule because the Spurs about to win tonight.
So me and Chris were looking at it, and the one thing I will keep in mind, yes, the Lakers have a hard schedule, but who is gonna rest people going down the stretch?
That is true. There are a lot of people resting already.
Yeah, the Nuggets obviously might cut back some minutes on some people because the West is kind of solidified. Like everybody in the top is separated by so many games where it's like, yo, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, the Suns are not going to be playing every night. They already clinched the first seed. They clinched the home advantage, so I doubt they'll play a lot.
Yeah, and even a team like the Nuggets, like if they're solidified in their spot, they might just be like, yo, let's just not even take a risk here. Last thing we need is Jokic getting hurt. We already got Jamal Murray hurt. Michael Porter Jr. got like a chronic back issue. Let's not get cute out here.
Definitely not.
Last night we saw another game changer. The Nets and Bucks. The Bucks beat the Nets. That game was insane.
Agreed.
And it led to a new conversation today that a lot of people are having online of, is Giannis Antetokounmpo the best player in the world? Let me get your take on it. Give me your reasons. I need some receipts, you feel me, on why.
Let's bring it back to last night because this man's hit 2 clutch free throws and tied the game with a 3, which he's not known for. So for him to come up super clutch against arguably the best player in the world, which is KD too, I don't think he's the best player, but I think he's one of them. I think he's at least top 3 to top 5.
So who would you put ahead of him, just to ask?
Braun and KD. I don't think he's there yet.
You still think Bron is the best player in the world?
Yeah. At 39, I believe, or 38, he's unbelievable. I mean, Jordan, I think, retired by then. Kobe was borderline getting there. Braun, what he's doing at this age, being almost a scoring leader, he's still the best player in the world.
I think he still is at first. He is at 30.19 right now. He's ahead by like a little bit on Giannis and then the littlest bit on Joel Embiid. That's another reason why I think LeBron's going to come back. But I don't know, man. It's hard because I think you can start to talk about Giannis being in that conversation of being the best. Just because he has a Finals MVP, he has a championship, he has MVPs. He's even making an argument to win MVP this year, so according to some people. And yes, KD is KD. Like, he's just a straight scorer, and his defense is not the worst in the world. But Giannis is just a dominant force, bro, that, like, you watch every night, you're just like, how? Like, how does he – like, because I get how KD does what he does. He's 7 feet shooting over people that are 6'9". Like, I would hope with his ability he'd be able to score the way he does. Because not every 7-foot is built like that. I mean, you know, this Porzingis who should have been that close to borderline, but he can't stay healthy. Ball just never plays. So maybe Chet Holmgren. I mean, I doubt it just because Chet doesn't really play that same. Maybe Poku.
It's not on that KD level, though. Like, KD is almost unguardable. Like, he's an absolute beast. At least even before when he was in his prime.
I mean, you know my argument, bro. You know who my favorite scorer is of all time, and it's because of his size. But you know that's not the question. The question is Giannis the best? I think it's safe to say yes, bro. Based on age, based on what he's done, based on what he's doing, I think he's the best in the world right now.
Now that we say more upon it, what's crazy is he stayed on one team. He never left the Bucks. He stayed, got a chip for the Bucks, and still staying with that team.
And he passed Kareem last night for most points all time with the Bucks. So that's crazy. And it's funny when I saw that, I was like, "Yo, you would never think this dude has scored as many points as he had," which I think it was like 13 or 14,000, right?
Yeah.
Like I saw that, and I was like, "How? Like how is he at that number already?" Like Giannis, I don't remember him scoring as much until like 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, when he started being that a conversation, and then they everybody told him like you gotta get a shot. And he started developing a shot and won the chip.
But yeah, I think it's safe to say that Giannis will get the torch until Luka can figure out what's going on with his body. I I think Ja can get to that, but I don't know. It's weird. I have to wait and see. And other than that, I mean, Tatum doesn't really. Tatum isn't like that dominant force because I've seen Tatum drop 50 and still lose. Giannis scores 40 and he'll find a way to make sure they win that game.
Yep. It's a defense. When it comes down to it, is that defense. He makes a big impact on that team.
Yeah, no one else is really a two-way player like that except Embiid.
And even then, is like they just lost to the Pistons, so that does not help his argument this year.
Yeah, bro. I mean, granted, we could put the blame on James Harden a little bit more, but again, I don't. So I say yes. I say yes. He's the best. That's.
Do you think? Let's say after Braun retires, after KD retires, is his league?
I don't know, because like I said, I just named the people I named, and it just comes down to well, obviously you can't just pick up defense like and be a defensive force, but can Ja pick up his defense enough to average like a steal a game, let's say, and maybe start averaging a few more blocks and use that athleticism to block people on chase downs, like, you know, other point guards and stuff. Because if he can get defense, I think it's Ja's league, honestly, just because he runs the point and, you know, they tend to add a point guard to run the league for the most part. A sleeper name I'm going to throw in there, like a sleeper that no one's going to talk about, and you're going to make fun of me for this, but I don't care. RJ Barrett.
I knew it was coming.
I mean, bro, he's been looking pretty good. He's averaging 20 now. He's been averaging 25 in the month of March. He plays pretty solid defense. He has Tom Thibodeau to help him keep developing on the defensive side. Like, he plays in New York. Who knows? And a kid's 21. Who knows? I mean, just give him. I think in 2 years we'll be able to tell if he's going to be in that conversation of, you know, top players in the league, but because, you know, he doesn't get love now. But I think we could start seeing that. That's my sleeper, like my OD sleeper pick. I don't know if you have one. Like somebody that no one could think of that's a sleeper. Like, okay, maybe this kid can be the face of the league.
I don't think that nobody would like it's half and half because people have mixed feelings about him. But I would say Donovan Mitchell. I
That's
think
somebody else.
if he can leave Utah and go to a better team, like
You know,
like
go to a team that just so happens to have somebody on the team that should be traded and almost makes the same amount of money and happens to play the power forward position, is only 27 years old and doesn't seem like he wants to be in New York. I mean, not New York, the place that he's in.
That was oddly specific. I think you're talking about one team.
I'm not trying to be biased. This is a podcast where we're not going to be talking about biased stuff for anymore.
So you're talking about the Kings, right?
Of course, the Kings.
Bonus, he's 27.
Exactly. There you go. Makes sense.
Of course.
Nah, but honestly, Donovan Mitchell is one of those other people that I think is a sleeper as well. The only reason I said I don't know is because it just depends on his circumstances. Like, where does he end up? Because as long as he stays in Utah, that narrative of get out the small market is going to follow him. And the league isn't really I think the only person I know that's used a small market, I don't know if you can consider Milwaukee like the smallest of small markets.
So. I would say it's down there. Like I wouldn't say
it's in the small market range, but I don't put them like in the bottom. I put them more towards like the top of the small market range.
Like a nice middle, like right in the middle of that 2015 maybe, like around there.
So, yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell might have to get out of Utah. But again, to wrap up that conversation, Giannis is the best in the world in my opinion. What's your final take on that?
I still got Braun until he retires and KD for now because I don't see him. I'm not gonna say messing up, but I don't see him underdeveloping. Like he's too good of a player to. Right now in the Nets, of course, he's looking bad, but overall, like his skill and level is just too talented.
Word. So let's transition since you said skill and level. Because this might be the best, not might be, this is the best linebacker, in my opinion, in the league. Bobby Wagner, me and you were talking about him a few weeks ago, talking about, he should get traded. And then he got released for whatever reason. And Ethan, I know you saw what team he went to.
The All-Star team, the Monstars.
The Los Angeles Rams. Where now you have somebody at each level of that defense. Aaron Donald on the front. You got Bobby Wagner worrying about the middle, and you got Jalen Ramsey deep downfield. Me and Chris talked about it yesterday. I said the Rams are the favorites in the NFC. He said he's not 100% sure just because he wants to see, like, who they've lost, like the smaller players that no one really talks about too much that might play a role in that. They also lost Von Miller, but I think adding Bobby Wagner changes that conversation really fast.
I say the only thing that will mess them up is the O-line. Like, I don't think they developed anything better, and I believe Whitworth retired. So, I mean, I don't see any good signings towards that. Other than that, I don't know. You got fresh Cam Akers off the injury from last season. Now you got Allen Robinson, you got Bobby Wagner, and you already had the old winning team from last year. I don't know. I still have them as my favorites, I would say.
The only reason that conversation came up was because we were talking about the Buccaneers signing Todd Bowles, and I said, I think the Bucs are the second favorite team because the NFC is so weak now. Like, I can't tell you 5 teams in the NFC that I think can really make noise because after we said the Rams, which now with the Bobby Wagner signing, they're definitely the favorites in the NFC, no doubt about it. Like you said, they added 2 pieces to a team, and they still could sign Odell Beckham back.
That would be disgusting.
And you never know. Maybe they sign somebody who gets released because you're going to have these people getting released after the draft. Maybe they get an O-line somewhere, like somebody that could slide in for them at offensive tackle. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. But, yeah, we said number 1 was definitely the Rams. Number 2 had to be the Bucs. Number 3, I said Green Bay because of Aaron Rodgers mainly. Because we've seen in the games without Devontae Adams, he's been able to like pull some stuff off because it's still Aaron Rodgers.
True.
But the only reason I put him at 3 is Aaron Rodgers. Because other than that, I would have put him at 3 because I don't think they're like a solidified 3. They could be 3 just for the sake of this conversation. I said the Cardinals maybe, the 49ers maybe.
I'm looking at it now. It's a very hard pick because even 49ers haven't signed Debo yet. And let's say the Jets trade for Debo or something happens that miss, I wouldn't put him up there. No Jimmy G. They go Trey Lance and they're developing a rookie. Arizona, Kyler Murray's half and half. Like he's committed, but he's not really committed.
And D-Hop, no one talks about it, but D-Hop can't stay healthy these last few years.
Had a horrible season. Like probably like top 20 outside of wide receivers.
And they lost Chase Edmonds. We know that James Conner is going to return, but James Conner, this is the first year he's been healthy, and I don't think it's because he was, a bell cow. He was being split with Chase Edmonds for a good majority of the season until Edmonds got hurt. But even then, they were sliding people in and out. But I don't know, like that team is weird. The Cowboys are the Cowboys every year.
Yep.
So that's probably my fifth team.
Maybe I'm gonna get hate for this, but I have the Washington being at 15.
So you have the Washington Commanders at the fifth best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
Why in the hell are you thinking this right now?
I don't know. Maybe I'm too big on Wentz, but I like him with Antonio Gibson, and if they could develop that defense better. I know they had injuries last season, but
yeah, I mean the defense is good. They got the weapons on offense and Scary Terry, like you said, Gibson. They got Logan Thomas. You're adding Carson Wentz, who is better than Tyler Heineke.
You got Curtis Samuel. They have an O-line. Like I don't know. I feel like they can just sneak that in the East at least.
So you think they might be better than the Cowboys?
I would say they're tied. If I had to put two together, I would say tied.
So you would say 5-6 is Cowboys Commanders, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, and then after that, what is it? Like
I can't even tell you. Maybe Minnesota because they have Dalvin Cook. I don't trust New Orleans because that whole team setup is horrible.
Yeah, like the Vikings. Yo, think about it. The Vikings. All right, we good.
We're gonna.
The Vikings, with the talent that they have, are probably seventh because that defense is not the greatest, and it's Kirk Cousins we're talking about.
Exactly.
Like that's just to show you. And then we talk about the AFC, and it's like, yo, you got Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, Lamar, Deshaun, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Matt Ryan.
Is it safe to say that whoever makes it out the playoffs is going to be from the AFC? Like they're going to win?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, because of
the Rams.
That one team.
It's just because, like, I mean, even I'll even consider the Bucks. It just depends on what the Bucks could do here in the draft to add little pieces. I'm not, like I said, like it's just the AFC is weird because a lot of these teams are very top heavy now, and a lot of these teams are very one sided. If you think about it, like the Chiefs are very heavily reliant on offense.
Yeah.
The Chargers are
They
a question.
They got a little bit of both.
I'm gonna say question mark just because Khalil Mack is getting older. J.C. Jackson, I mean, we've seen this with the Patriots time and time again where someone's nice with the Patriots, leaves the Patriots, sucks, and then goes back to the Patriots and somehow becomes good again.
It's the system.
Yeah, and they got Derwin James at safety. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I gotta see the first few weeks.
I agree because, like, compared to the other teams in the AFC, I think there's better defensive teams or all-around teams, like the Broncos.
I think the Ravens are an all-around team, too, that no one talks about enough because they dealt with a lot of injuries last year, and they still managed to somehow just miss the playoffs with a backup quarterback towards the end of the year.
No running backs, backup quarterback, injury and defense for, like, third strings. So I definitely agree.
Yeah, for sure. But, like I said, the Rams, I think, are that all-around team, bro. Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, Cam Akers, and Matthew Stafford.
It's all-pro team in every position. Maybe not running back, but maybe. We never know.
I mean, Cam Akers looked like he was one of the top running backs in the league his rookie season before he got hurt.
Yep.
So that's an argument to be made depending on what he does. I mean, obviously you got Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Kamara, but all those guys can't stay healthy. So That's
And
wait and see.
honestly, they're probably not all happy with the team. Like I know Aaron Jones is like, all right, we have no support. Alvin Kamara been wanting to leave. Like that NFC is just hard.
Yeah, so I think the Rams are the most complete team right now. Post draft, I don't know. We'll see. And to wrap up, because we're talking about people that can't stay healthy, and it wouldn't be the Mets without talking about Jacob Degrom. There's going to be a quick little segment because we got to see what happens from here to next week when they opening day. But Jacob Degrom's experienced some tightness in his arm, bro. Are you concerned? Are you kind of like, eh? I mean, is there much to expect?
Highly concerned because this is the Mets fight. We always find a way to get hurt.
I will say the difference this year, I'm not concerned about the Mets, is because last year the Mets were able to pull it off with DeGrom. You guys were in first place for a good majority of the year. DeGrom gets hurt and everything falls off and falls apart. I do think that the Mets' thinking obviously was let's get two of the top 5 pitchers in baseball. Well, two of the top 3 pitchers in baseball. And the other half of it was, DeGrom can't stay healthy. We're going to use Scherzer because obviously this team has shown they could survive long enough into a certain point of the year with one pitcher. So Scherzer will replace DeGrom pretty much, and they usually have pretty decent pitching. And then if Scherzer gets hurt, DeGrom hopefully gets healthy by then. And they're just going to be intertwining with each other until the playoffs, hopefully. And I think they both get right by the playoffs. The Mets are my favorite in the NL East. I don't know about the whole NL because the Dodgers are out here trading for Craig Kimbrell as a closer, like after they let go of Kenley Jensen. So
something in that Los Angeles water that's just everybody's just stacked on that one place.
Yo, that's the one team that I'm like, how do you guys make trades all the time? And like no other team can make a trade. Like I don't get it.
And it won't even be a simple trade. It'd be like one of the best players. Like how do you get Mookie Betts? Like what?
They got Mookie Betts. They got Freddie Freeman in free agency. They developed Cody Bellinger. They traded for Max Scherzer last year. They still have Trey Turner.
They're ridiculous.
They trade for Craig Kimbrell, one of the best closers in the last few years. I mean, obviously he's fallen off a little bit because of age, but maybe going to the Dodgers some way, shape, or form revitalizes his career just like all these other people. And then they pull people out of their farm system. And I'm like, all right. I see what's going on here. That's cool.
I'll just pick one team, Let's not go to Yankees, Mets.
No, let's just all go to one team.
Let's go Dodgers. Why not? So I'll just win a chip.
But we'll see what happens by next week. Hopefully DeGrom is good and it's just some weird tightness and he comes back next week.
True. Hopefully that's spring training.
But we'll leave it there. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Like I told Chris yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today, knowing the NFL, by Monday we're going to be talking about something again.
Yep.
And we're going to have to see what happens with the NBA. There's a few games left.
DK to the Jets. Let's hope.
Listen, DK, AJ Brown. I don't know about AJ Brown. AJ Brown, we're going to hurt too much. DK needs to stop playing games. Just come to the Jets, bro. We'll end it there. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope the people out there listening have an amazing weekend. We'll be back Monday.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.